Also new tonight on The Current, we have to talk about birds. A new study from Ohio State University has found that bird populations are declining at a faster pace in areas with heavy amounts of agriculture, and especially in the Midwest. It's a story Abigail Botar has reported on for Harvest Public Media, and she joins us now right here on The Current. Abigail, thank you so much for being here with us. I mean, we have known since the 70s that North America has been declining in bird populations. And then you take this study, this groundbreaking study in 2019 from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and they found that North America has lost around 3 million adult breeding birds. So what makes this new study so different and unique?
So it's actually 3 billion adult birds that we've lost since the 1970s, which is, I was looking at that earlier today and I was like, that's an unfathomable amount of birds. So this new study, it looked at this data set. It's the North American Breeding Bird Survey, which is an annual monitoring program. And they found 3 hotspots that have a faster rate of decline, faster than the decline that we're seeing across the rest of the continent. That's the Midwest, California, and the Mid-Atlantic. And so from those hotspots, they were able to dig into the data a little deeper and find some predictors of that faster bird decline. And that's where they found this link to areas of intense agriculture and that faster rate of bird decline.
First of all, thank you so much for correcting me on that. It is 3 billion, and that is an unfathomable number. But what are some of the reasons that bird populations are dropping even faster around agricultural areas?
Right. So those like predictors that the researchers looked at were pesticides, fertilizer, and the amount of cropland in the area. This study didn't do any further research to quantify the impact of those practices. We're going to need further research on that, but it does make a lot of sense with like what we know already about bird population loss, especially from that 2019 study. Habitat loss is a key contributor to bird decline, and agriculture inherently takes away a lot of habitat for birds. Even practices like planting native plants around fields, hedgerows. These are things that farmers have done in the past to, kind of help habitat, but those are becoming less and less popular these days, and that could contribute to decline.
Yeah, and I think it's also really interesting to look at, it's not just the birds that are being impacted by this habitat loss, it's also the insects and the things that they eat that are being impacted, which further impacts the birds. And you spoke with a lot of experts on this topic. I mean, were they surprised by these findings?
No, they weren't. They said kind of the similar thing where this makes perfect sense. I mean, this is a groundbreaking study. This is the first of its kind to tie these faster rates of bird decline to agriculture, but it makes perfect sense with what we know already about habitat loss. Like you said, insect loss is kind of like a vicious cycle of agriculture also hurts insect populations that then impacts bird populations, and it kind of keeps going from there. Also, the climate crisis has also really been contributing to bird decline. So with all of the things that we know already about bird populations and human impact on them, it does make a lot of sense that agriculture would also have a negative impact on bird populations.
All right, we can throw out these numbers. We can say that bird populations are not only declining, they are declining faster than we might have thought in a lot of areas. But what is the real impact of this? What are the consequences of all of this?
Yeah, birds are really important for our ecosystem. They regulate those insect populations like we talked about. They spread plant seeds for all of the native plants in our area. And they're a really important part of the food chain. Up the chain, other animals rely on them as food. So these declines, especially in the more rapid ones we're seeing in the Midwest, they have a really big impact on greater environmental health.
I mean, we're looking at some photos right now of some of the birds you'd find around the Midwest. Do we know which populations specifically are declining the fastest, or even a few of them?
It's actually across the board, just all North American birds are seeing this decline. So any bird you'd see in the Midwest is declining. Their populations are declining at already they're declining, and now we know that they're declining at a faster rate because of this link to agriculture.
All right, so the study has come out. We've dived into what it has to say. What can we do now? I mean, is it too late, or can humans do something to help?
It's definitely not too late. There's lots of things that we can do to curb this. Experts I spoke to said it can be as easy as creating more habitable land for birds, just planting more native plants around farmland, creating those hedgerows, giving birds a place to land while they're migrating, that's so helpful to them. And there are already programs that incentivize farmers to do that. There's one that the US Department of Agriculture has that pays farmers to convert fields to habitable land for birds and other populations. Another expert I talked to at Cornell said that we have a lot of experience already in reversing bird decline, like how we worked so hard to get bald eagle populations back. So this is certainly something that we can do. But all the experts I spoke to cautioned that if we continue to go at this rate of intense agriculture, birds will continue to decline, and that decline will be faster and faster. So there's definitely steps we can take now to save these bird populations, but action has to be taken or else it will just continue to get worse.
Yeah, this is certainly a very important topic. Abigail, thank you so much for your time and for your reporting. I really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me.
And if you guys at home want to share this story, read the full study, or check out Abigail's work with Harvest Public Media, you can head over to WQAD.com and the As Seen on TV tab.